Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Peter Del Tondo, and we are back for another daily creative challenge. And today we're going to be covering one of my favorite things about XD, Auto-Animate. I think Auto-Animate has been revolutionary in terms of we no longer have to get deep into the weeds with After Effects to create complex or simple animations, and can now do that in the comfort of Adobe XD. And so this is a really cool tool to prototype your designs, pitch to investors, and just have some fun with it. So thank you everybody for jumping in today. I see a lot of familiar faces. We've got Laura, Shannon, Chris, Monica, Undine, Nahid. Thank you all. Let us know where you're tuning in from. I'm over here in Colorado. We've got some beautiful fall colors outside, and I'm excited to get out and go for a nice walk after this stream. So I'm gonna wrap up my day with this. Super excited about it. Thank you all for joining here. So let's jump into a couple of things. Want to make sure you are all aware of. So if we come on over here to behance.net/challenge/XD, if you are new to these challenges, this is where we go each and every day to download the file, to get an update of past challenges. If you missed one or you want to catch the replay, you can always do that here. When you get to this page, come in and we'll unlock in the morning each challenge, and you can click and download that get started file, or you'll give you the link to watch later in the day or to go back and watch the replay. So really cool. Also make sure you go in and join the community chat over on Discord. If we come over here, Discord is where we're going to go each and every day to review your challenges, to be a part of this community and have some fun. So I will be back on this evening. I'm going to do a live stream on my personal account, and we'll be going through and reviewing all of the challenges that have been submitted thus far. So that's going to be a ton of fun. I'm really excited to see Marina's challenge here and some others. This looks really, really cool. And I love, Marina, how you, like I said yesterday, take these challenges, learn the mechanics, and apply it to anything. And you changed it from a to-do list app to a quiz app. And I love that. It means you really get it. You're taking it to that next level. So I'm excited to review that one later this evening. All right, with that, a couple more things real quick. As I mentioned, I'll probably be on tonight about, let's call it 7 to 8 Pacific Standard Time. So go and give me a follow on Behance, behance.net/Peter Del Tondo. You'll get a notification when I go live on my personal account, and I'll notify everybody in Discord too. And come join in, be a part of that event. And I love getting to talk to you. You'll learn from not just the feedback on your own project, but from others as well. And if you've got questions, want to learn things along the way, hop on and chat with me and I'll talk through things. So I love giving feedback in that fashion, and it's a ton of fun. Let's jump into this today, because while this is simple, I decided to undergo a pretty intense challenge for myself within the period of time that I have. So I'm going to move pretty quick. All right, jumping in here, we've got, today we're going to create the, whoops, I opened up the wrong one. Give me 1 second. Helps to be in the right file. Let me grab these assets. I'm gonna just do this for myself because this will be easier. I'm gonna move this over here. All right, great. Now I'm caught up and on the right day. Opened up the wrong file. Go me. So we are gonna do Auto-Animate, and we're gonna prototype a desktop media server. And if you notice from the logo above, I decided to work with Plex Server, which is a tool that lets you take like your old DVDs, burn them, and create a digital asset, and then have your own self-hosted library. So you can host all of your files within that and access on your own network, and it's super cool. And I love getting to do stuff anytime with like music, TV, movies, because there's a lot of great assets to be able to use, and they always look really, really appealing. And fun projects like this, I've done one. I got hit up by some major stream companies about that work when it was just me spending 30 minutes having some fun with this. So encourage you, knock these ones out of the park, and it makes for a great portfolio piece. And so one of the things that we're going to cover today is we want to think about interactions. How do we get something to animate from scene to scene or screen to screen And so I would encourage you to go look at, apps like Plex, and I've pulled in a couple of examples of that application here. Go check out things like Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime, and we're kind of in that realm. So really, any kind of media type application is really pretty applicable here. And what we're going to want to do is I want to have my library, and I want to have some animations as I start to click into a series or a show that I might be interested in. So we'll start just kind of really quickly. I'm going to start plopping some of this stuff in here and see what we can do. All right, so one of the things that I know I'm going to want as a Plex user is I want to have a nice menu over here. Again, I'm not going to be too technical in terms of my widths and spacings and stuff today because we are moving at lightning speed. But I do want to make sure that what we have is going to make sense and is going to work well for this application. So I'm going to come over here, grab this one more time, and I'll just make that exact. All right, so I'm going to come over. I've got my Plex app logo here. We can just kind of tuck that off to the side. And I do want to let's do a bar up top as well. So something along these lines that'll kind of ground our menu. And then this one, maybe we will use that darker color that I've got, just something so there's a little bit of separation here. And in this, I want to start doing, I'm gonna kind of skimp on the icons at the moment. Whoops. I'm gonna get a circle. I'm just gonna do some placeholder icons off the bat. I just kind of want to show that we know we've got some stuff. I might bring these down in size, maybe 32 by 32 or 24 by 24. Again, working in that 8-pixel grid system. That's always kind of my personal preference. So we'll do something along those lines. We'll pull that off the edge. We'll move that up. And then I'm going to add some text here. And this is going to say home. Again, we'll make this that lighter text. Okay, and we're going to bring this down in size because that's quite large. And I'm going to bring these down too. I'm going to lock that. That'll make that all the same. And I think something like that. We could even bring that down a little bit more. Perfect. Okay, great. Now, another thing I want to do is I'm going to do a repeat grid here because I know I'm going to want to have a couple of different menu options. And then I can spread these out to my liking. So I might spread these out and, let's go 24. That works nice and clean. I can ungroup that afterwards. And then in here, I can say things like home. Maybe I've got, I'll do one more thing before I just mark all of these to be left aligned or left justified. So now I can come in here and put things like audiobooks. I might have things like you're an anime watcher. If you have your movies, television, maybe things like music, live TV, and let's see what else we can do. Maybe things like kids movies and kids TV. All right, perfect. So that will kind of cover us for what a potential menu system can look like over here. I'm going to bring this over as I see kind of what I've filled that in with. We don't need quite that much space. So we've got a little bit of room here. And then I'm going to come in and I want to add one more rectangle. So I'm going to duplicate that. And maybe what I will do is bring this up. And I want to show that we are on our home. So maybe what I'll do here is I'll create something along these lines. Bring that down to there. And I might just say lightness a little bit. So maybe I'll pick from one of the color swatches that I had, or I could darken that up. But let's do something along these lines. We'll go solid color. I might even just make this white, and then I'm going to bring this opacity down. So even something like 8%. And then I'm going to duplicate that once more. And I want to do a bar over here. And I'm going to make that yellow. Cool. So now it's really clear that we are on the home screen. And we can do some stuff like that. So that just kind of grounds us again. We know where we're at in the app. So coming on to our main area now, we've got a lot of real estate where we can do some fun things. And again, I've pulled over some graphics. I want to pull in some shows and whatnot. And I actually found Eureka is one of my favorite shows of all time. It's that book I need to finish. This was from, I think, my baby moon like 6 years ago. I have not finished it, if you can see the bookmark. So I should probably restart it. But Eureka is one of my favorite shows of all time. And this is one of those things that because I like that show, I get really excited when I get to design something with that. And I feel like I do a little bit better work. So whatever you do, pull in shows, movies, music, audiobooks, things that you're into, and I guarantee you're going to have a better project from it. So let's grab a couple of things. And I've got a few items here that I want to design. I want to start off by putting in a nice little background here that's going to, I pulled in this gradient kind of from the Plex app itself. That's just going to be what I showcase the designs on top of and the things I'm watching. And this isn't necessarily precise to what they've got, but for today's purpose, this will work nicely. I'm going to come in now and I want to start laying some things down to show like what my home screen looks like. So I could do something like continue watching. And over here, again, I'm gonna bring that down here. I don't know that we need, let's bring this actually up just a little bit. Maybe like 20, no, that's too large. Let's go to 18. All right, make sure that's justified again. And I'm gonna come in and I'm just gonna space this stuff out how I like it. I wanna give this a little bit more breathing room. So I might do something like 56 to 56, top left. And then what I wanna do next is I'm actually gonna create a rectangle and I'm gonna make this 1920 by 1080. And the reason I'm doing that is that's the scale that we're typically gonna see a video file come in. And then I'm gonna scale that down to match essentially what I am going to put in here at the scale that I want. And I'm not exactly sure how many of these will fit and what I want to do necessarily yet, but it's going to get me started and I can kind of get rocking and rolling with that. I'm going to want to create a layer on top. And I'm going to want to take this bottom one and I want to extend this just a little bit more so that way we've got some room to put some text down here. So this is going to be an image file. I'm going to remove that border and I'm just going to color this something else for the moment. And here again, we can come in here now and I'm just going to add a little bit of text and I'll maybe say Eureka. And then in here we can put season 1, actually season 5, episode 12, I think, or 7. So one of my favorite, all the characters swap bodies and impersonate each other, and it's hilarious to watch the actors have fun with that. So we'll put a little something in there. So season 5, let's say episode 7. I'm not sure if that's right, but we'll roll with that for now. And I don't know the name of the episode, but we'll call it the Body Swappers for now. All right, and I'm going to bring that down in size. We can probably take that down maybe to a regular weight. And I'm going to leave it at like medium. I want that to be a little bit more legible. All right, so I've got this in here, and then I want to put some text on this side as well. Take a peek there, and let's go here, right justified, and then we'll say something like there's 2 minutes left. All right, perfect. And then I want this text to be white in name. And then I'm going to bring this opacity down. Again, maybe we'll do like 8. And that'll be perfect. Next, what I want to do is I'm going to come into these backgrounds, and I've grabbed one for Eureka here. I'm just going to grab that and drop it right in. And I also want to create a little time bar down here. So we'll do that. take this off. 4 pixels is good for me. And we can make this, say this darker color. I'm going to give that some opacity. We'll go to like 80%. And I'm going to duplicate that one more time. Make sure that duped. And I'm going to pull this back. And I am going to make that our yellow color at full opacity. And that's going to show us that progress bar. All right, great. I'm going to come in and lock these items. And now I'm going to take these and I'm just going to duplicate these over. Maybe do like 40. And I'm just going to keep doing that a couple of times. All right, that'll work for the moment here. And then what I want to do is I want to drop in some real stuff. So once again, I went through, I found some shows, some movies that I really like. So I'm going to do that. We've got The Mandalorian, Paddington. Andrew, if you're watching, this one's for you. We've got Brooklyn Nine-Nine and The Witcher. Sorry, Scrubs. We'll make it next time. And then I'm not going to today, but this is where don't leave Eureka under Paddington and under The Mandalorian. Go and swap out all that text. Next, we want to come in here and let's do a really quick section, and then we'll get into the animation as we're running a little low on time. And I might say things like on deck or like recently added. We'll just say on deck for now. And then down here, I am going to drop in some posters. So I've got different shows that I like, and I'm going to drop in a couple of these. So we said The Mandalorian. I'll grab that. I'm going to, align, bring this down a little bit, and we'll do something along these lines. And then I'm going to grab this text and we'll do something like that here too. And then we'll have the show and maybe the episode. So I want to make this a little bit bigger so that it can cover that. Great. And then once again, I'm just going to keep repeating these. And I can use repeat grid as well, just to make this nice and easy. All right, so we'll do something along those lines. And then really quickly, let's go Holy Moly is one of the funniest shows on TV. Scrubs, Firefly, Chuck is a great show. Stranger Things, Parks and Rec. Again, just have some fun with this. This looks super fun and colorful once you start putting this stuff in there. All right, so next I want to do a nice little animation as I bring one of these in, and I'm going to swap one of these out. Again, sorry, Scrubs, I'm going to swap you out for Eureka. We're going to go into our next screen, and in here, I want to do a screen that shows information about that show. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to drop out a lot of the text here, but I want to keep a couple of things, and I'm doing that very specifically because I want this to animate, and I'm going to have this get much bigger. I'm going to just have this be the show name, except I'm going to bring up this size much, much larger, and we'll put that here. And then we can add some additional details about the show. I'm going to get into that later, but for now, I just want to create something that we can start to see and see how this all works. And then, like I said, this was a big challenge for me to do in the amount of time we've got, but we are rocking and rolling, and I think we're going to do it. All right, so we've got this. Let's bring this down to maybe 24. We'll go regular text. I want to increase that line height. Let's do something like maybe 32 here. And we'll bring that in a little bit too. Oops. All right, great. That works well. And then we want to have some additional stuff here. So I'm just going to grab some other items. And we will have this say seasons. I want to check Eureka here, and I want to make sure this is just going to say Eureka now. Okay, and then under seasons, we are going to go back to our graphics. I've got Eureka, seasons. I'm not sure which season is which necessarily, but I'm just going to start dropping these in. 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's only 5 seasons. All right, so we've got our different seasons here. Perfect. And then we can do some text underneath, and we can say season 1, make this white. Season 2, etc., etc. I'm going to skip over this pretty quickly because I'm running out of time, but you get where that's going with everything. I also want to do a little hover here. And what I can do for that is I'm going to come in and let's see, we can come in here. We can turn this into a component. I want to have a hover state. And in this hover state, I want to have a little button. It's going to be right here. And actually, no, I'm going to get rid of that for the moment. So we're just going to bring this one over, and we're going to animate this over here. Now, I've done a couple of things. If we want to check here, I have Eureka, or I'm going to call this poster. Call it poster 1. And over here, we're going to go poster 1. And what this is going to do is just by having the same file name, when I come over here to prototype, I'm going to click on this. I can actually group all of this. I'll just click this here. I'm going to move this over to the screen, and I'm going to go tap. Transition is going to be Auto-Animate, and we can do an ease in and ease out. We can set the time. I'm going to increase that time because I want you to see what it is that I'm doing. And what this is going to do is it's going to take this poster, scale it up as we transition over on the screens. So let's come on over here. Again, this looks awesome with all this real artwork. It feels very realistic rather than just kind of making up random hodgepodgey things. It's why I love, again, TV, movie things. And as I click on this now, we see let's go back one more time. It's taking the text down here from Eureka, and it's moving that and enlarging it. And then it's taking the cover art here and enlarging it into place. And now it's a little slow. Again, did this so you could see it, but really quickly and easily we get to see how these automatic interactions work within XD just by having the same file names. We can do a lot of cool stuff in micro interactions. You can do some really cool transitions between like buttons to play icons and other features within that. So I'm going to really encourage you all to play around, experiment, and see what you can do, what things, you want to be subtle. Like I think this text here is a little over the top. So I might even come into my design, and all I have to do is I can just say this is Eureka 2, and now it won't animate. So while I wanted to show you that for the purposes of just seeing more stuff, it's a little bit much, but I do really like seeing the cover art move into that. And that's a nice little subtle transition that we can do. And then from here, you can even get into clicking on the season, and then you could do another animation there, scrolling through different things. There's all kinds of stuff that we can do here really easily. And again, we don't have to get into timelines. We don't have to get into, anchor points on After Effects timeline or anything like that. This is really quick, really easy. And you can do all kinds of automatic or auto-animate transitions as we get into like hover effects or active states on your menus. And we'll be covering that in some of the upcoming lessons as well. Let me know if anyone has any questions in chat, and I'll try to answer that real quick. Mark, it's good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. I'm sure you're probably weathering some other kind of hurricane because that's just what you do. So I hope you're well and safe. And with that, let's check out the schedule really quickly here today. Up next, we've got Kyle T. Webster with Draw Along, and then we're finishing off the day with Voodoo Val and Selena Saldivar. So stick around for all of that. thank you all for tuning in today. I hope you got to learn a little bit about Auto-Animate and see some of the possibilities of what you can do. And really excited to see your projects as you guys wrap those up. With that, have a good afternoon, everybody.